the 21st. It's September. It's 2019. Or at least that's what they want us to believe. Because all of our history is a complete and total fabrication made up by wealthy people that have always run everything. You see what I'm saying? You guys hearing me okay? My volume all right before I keep blathering? Because it's early. I just woke up, I don't know, an hour ago or so. My volume all right? Give me a thumbs up or a hell yeah or a no or a thumbs down. Perfect. Perfect. All right, so check this out. If you guys follow me, you probably know that I've been working on my vehicle because I broke it a whole bunch of different ways while I was gone. So it's in the driveway. It's on jack stands. I'm covered with filth. If you know me, you're probably like, that's nothing new because I'm always covered with filth. It is what it is. What are you going to do? At any rate, what's up, John Boy? Sovereign BL, SKS. That's a good one. You're blocked on I'm blocked on your main channel. Please remove it. Yeah, see, I don't even know who you are, so I didn't block you. If you're being censored or whatever, that's a new thing. Do you see what I'm saying? So there's that. Nez Lover, what's up? Happy Smiles. Glenn Ostrakowski, JT, TJ Antipass, however, whatever. If I'm saying it wrong, I'm from Boston. So there's that. Love Matters, what's up? Jenny Bean, what is up? Rise Up 48209er. Coon Yank Company, what's up? Princess Diana, what is up? Nice, nice, nice. Triton Bradford, right? Riding dirty, indeed. Joe's Tekka Hondurosa, Logic Before Authority. What's up, brother? I listened while I was drinking my coffee this morning. I was listening to his point of view on this guy, Beto, who is actually running for president, who's been convicted of burglary, drinking and driving, etc. I can't get into Canada because I've got a DWI from like 1992, but this guy's going to run for president and he's going to take your guns. It is what it is. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's all a distraction. None of this stuff is true. It is a waste of time, but I digress. I'm glad that Logic Before Authority didn't get smashed by that hurricane that they conjured up. A lot of people had a lot of opinions on that hurricane. Was that just more of the people I'm about to talk about using the weather as an extortion device? Like, hey, see this hurricane that just destroyed the Bahamas? Either you vote the way we want, you do what we want, you take away rights from your citizens the way we want, or this hurricane's going to make landfall and destroy you. And just like in Katrina, we won't help your citizens. We'll send airplanes in the wrong direction, et cetera, et cetera. We'll blow levees. It's what these guys do. It amazes me. To this day, it amazes me. Stand by. Still early. Second cup of coffee. All right. It amazes me that every year we bring up 9/11 again, which is a good thing. It's definitely a good thing, right? Bring it up, represent the facts as best we know them. Try to stay away from were there planes, were there no planes. To me, it doesn't make any difference whatsoever at all. The story is that a guy in a cave on dialysis on a cell phone back in 2001 somehow orchestrated this entire thing from the other side of the earth. And yet, even if that entire story were true, it isn't, but even if it were true, the one main thing that they left out is somehow, according to the official story, Osama bin Laden managed to suspend physics. Not only did he get 19 hijackers, who some of them died, some of them didn't die, some of them were alive the next day. The planes exploded, the buildings exploded, everything exploded. Osama bin Laden, according to the story that they presented us with, managed to suspend physics because those two buildings fell down faster than if there were no buildings in the way. Do you see what I mean? That isn't physically possible. And yet that's exactly what happened. 9 seconds, 10 seconds, 12 seconds. I mean, come on. And people buy it because people don't want to deal with it. Once you discover that once you discover that something like that is a lie, It was done by the same people that have been trying to do this for time immemorial. They want to take over the United States. They want to use the United States as the military arm of the New World Order, which they are. These guys have wanted to do this forever. It astounds me that people will listen to politicians that are literal professional actors and liars. They make up terms like political doublespeak, which just means we're lying. If I'm voted president, Hillary's going to go to jail. He's voted president. Bill and Hillary Clinton have done amazing things for this country. Do you see what happens? But they don't believe the firefighters, the engineers, the airline pilots, the military, the police officers, the people that were on the ground. They don't believe them that the buildings were blowing up left and right. It was controlled demolition, complete and total controlled demolition. The first time that they put a bomb in the basement of the World Trade Centers and blamed it on some dude, and it turned out the dude they blamed it on was recording the FBI's conversations the entire time. All that did was give them complete and total access to the buildings so that they could actually pull off 9/11. You don't believe me? Well, then believe this guy, because this guy, I've listened to everything he's put out, and not enough people know who he is. This guy his name's Kevin Ryan, and he's written a book called Another 19. Now, this guy he worked for Underwriters Laboratories. And Underwriters Laboratories is the company that if you use a hairdryer, look on the bottom, it'll say UL listed. If you use anything, for the most part, it'll have a tag on it saying UL listed, which means Underwriters Laboratory tested the steel. This guy was a chemist. He worked at Underwriters. He was a manager there. He was one of the first people to come out and say, this isn't accurate. None of this is accurate. The NIST test, all this stuff where they recreated the collapse of the Twin Towers, and it didn't even look like the Twin Towers at all because you couldn't recreate the collapse without giving away the story. This guy came out against it. He lost his job. He got another job, and he's still talking about it to this day. And while listening to him on this show called Guns and Butter, I don't know why it's called Guns and Butter. At any rate, he brought up a lot of good points, and it reminded me about this. So stand by, because even though I paid for the professional version of StreamYard, it's still really difficult to use. It takes longer than it should, but let me show you some stuff here. Maybe you know this, maybe you don't. This is going to be an early Saturday morning half-ass history lesson by Richie from Boston for all you folks in the comment section right now. It's early. It's early. I don't dig early. Early's early. I'm not a morning person, so stand by. Triton Bradford said, I smashed that like button. Yeah, but to be perfect, I mean, it's awesome to do that, but to be perfectly honest, my main channel is at 341,000, and it has been for days. It just sits there. It just totally sits there. They're effectively shutting us down. I watched a video that I put up on my backup channel, or it's not even a backup channel. It's my other channel. I have another channel where it's just not stuff like this because I can't do this 24/7. I actually do have one other interest, and it's traveling the country and meeting you guys. And while I do that, I live out of my truck. The truck that I chose to live out of is this one pictured up here in the top, I guess, right-hand corner. It's a 97 Land Cruiser. And I love this thing. And I fix it and I build it myself and I break it and etc. Some of you have seen it. Some of you haven't. It is what it is. Long story shorter, I do have another channel. It is not conspiratorial based at all. It's just me talking about crap that I use to do what I do. So there's that. All right. So let's get back to this real quick. Maybe you know this guy's name. Maybe you don't. It's a funny name because back in the day, people had names like Smedley and Ebenezer and whatever else. I don't know why, but it is what it is. I'm aware. Smedley Darlington Butler was born in 1881 in Pennsylvania, from Pennsylvania, blah, blah, blah. And this guy won the Marines Medal of Honor and the Medal of Valor. He was cited by the President of the United States in the name of Congress, takes pleasure in presenting the Medal of Honor. Do you know how hard it is to win a Medal of Honor or a Medal of Valor? It's no joke. It's no joke. Long story short, this guy was a stand-up dude. This stand-up dude was approached by lots and lots and lots of really rich guys. You know what I mean? You see these people. Look at them. Look at them. Let's take a look. Let's do a comparison. You see these guys right here. You see these guys. This guy looks like a rat with no hair. Compare him to, for instance, what I look like. I look like a normal dude, I think, right? These guys look like, I don't know, people that have absolutely zero issue killing other people for money. People that don't care if you can't make your mortgage, people that will cause the problem that causes you to not be able to pay your mortgage and then swoop in and take your house. Even if your house just sits there and becomes a dilapidated mess, they don't care. They're scum of the earth and they've been in charge forever. Long story short, these guys approached Smedley Butler because this guy was a badass, high-speed, no-joke Marine, and they wanted him. You see how I have to keep switching screens? This sucks, StreamYard, $249 a year. This sucks that I have to do this, but whatever. These rich, heartless, scumbag, deal with the devil assholes approached this guy and said, hey, Smedley, we have the means and the money. We want you to command a force of 100,000 veterans and take over the United States government. That's a historical record. It's slowly being coerced and erased because everything is, but that's a true story. It's an absolute, total true story. This guy was approached by these scumbags, the same scumbags whose sons, grandsons are still in power to this day, still doing exactly what they approached Smedley to do. They wanted to take over the United States government. Smedley, stand by. Smedley, I just love the name. Smedley did the right thing and blew their cover. He went to the president. He told the president what was up, and the president did absolutely nothing. No arrests, no nada. The entire plot was stopped on its face. You know, it appeared to be that they stopped it. But it would seem that when people like this, do I really have to switch screens or am I doing this wrong? I don't know. Stand by. I feel like I'm in a kindergarten class. Stand by. Stand by. All right, let's do this. One of the people involved in this entire thing was, remember him? No new taxes, read my lips, blah, blah, blah. George Herbert Walker Bush, the one-term president who was the main guy at the CIA. And for some reason, Americans think Americans thought that having the main Central Intelligence Agency scumbag in charge of the United States presidency would be a good idea. But they didn't think that for very long. Do you see what I'm saying? George Herbert Walker Bush. Ugh. I mean, how many videos have we made about this guy over the years? This guy was the one that was made famous by saying, when we're successful, and we will be, the world has a real chance at a new world order governed by laws, not the laws of the jungle. That was this guy setting the stage. The main Illuminati dude. His grandfather, Prescott Bush, I'm probably not screen sharing, so let me go back and double check again. I'm not. Phenomenal. Stand by. His grandfather was also caught, just like these other guys were caught, helping Hitler to rise to power. Now, the story's going to keep changing and changing, where it's going to say maybe in 5 years, that his grandfather, Prescott Bush, actually stopped Hitler from rising from power, because that's how they're doing it. All of our history is now on what I'm showing you and what you're watching me on right now. It's on a computer. It's on a laptop. So can they change it? They are. They are successfully changing it. But for now, I'm showing you what I'm showing you. This is the real deal. The late U.S. Senator Prescott Bush was a director and shareholder of companies that profited from their involvement with the financial backing of Nazi Germany. Well, let's take that one step further. Hitler was on the cover of Time magazine. He was the man of the year. Did you know that? Did you know that? Well, yeah. Hitler was another useful idiot. Germany was completely and totally devastated by World War I, correct? Devastated. And yet, in a short span of time, this guy pops up, he gets out of jail, he writes a big book, blah, bitty, blah, bitty, blah, bitty, blah. And then suddenly he's blitzkrieging across the country and taking over other nations like it's no big deal, using technology that nobody had ever seen before. We went into World War I. We went into World War II with propellers. These dudes were using rockets. Do you see what I'm saying? Well, how did they do that? They got this technology just like every single other, the guy that figured out DNA. It's a long list. It's early in the morning, so stand by. Hitler was incredibly steeped in the occult, and so weren't all his people. They did the women with the long hair. It escapes me right now. These guys were into the occult, blah, blah, blah. That's another video for another day. But long story short, George Herbert Walker Bush's grandfather was one of the people that helped Hitler rise to power, okay? No big deal. He didn't get in any trouble for it. His business dealings, which continued until his company's assets were seized under the Trading with the Enemy Act, led to 60 years later, blah, 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 blah. Here's the deal. In public, they seized his money, but nothing happened. You know how I can tell you that? Because his grandson and his great-grandson became president, and his great-grandson was sitting at the wheel when 9/11 happened. You see how all this ties together? The people that run things have always wanted to either openly or covertly take everything over completely. This blows that I have to keep doing this, man. If I'm doing this wrong, somebody hit me up and let me know how I'm doing it. Kevin Ryan, in his Guns and Butter talks about legitimate 9/11 suspects. And what he does is he talks about people like Donald Rumsfeld, Dick Cheney, and Paul Wolfowitz. These guys literally have been in government forever. All of these guys, it's what they do. And it amazes me that people can't understand that if somebody can come up with a thing like continuity of government, COG, Rex 1984, continuity of government, Dick Cheney, Donald Rumsfeld were integral in coming up with the continuity of government thing. And on 9/11, they enacted it. It's outstandingly unbelievable to me. How do you like those for adjectives first thing in the morning? Outstandingly unbelievable to me that these people have managed to stay in Congress for 30, 40, stay in political power for 30 or 40 years, where they can literally set everything up so that they can pull off 9/11. And they did. And their fingerprints are all over everything, and nobody seems to care. I guess what I'm trying to say, or what my point for making this video was, is these guys have been doing this forever. It's nothing new. It's the same people over and over and over and over and over again. This guy right here, it is Paul Wolfowitz, right? He wrote things like the Wolfowitz Doctrine. He was involved in the Project for New American Century. These guys, him, the Bush family, etc., these guys set this thing up years and years and years prior to 9/11 happening. So I guess what I'm trying to say is 9/11, bringing it up every year and waiting for another one to happen, you know, Watchmen on the Wall, etc., etc. It's a good idea. We should do that, blah, blah, blah. But understand that, you know, Donald Trump, he's not immune to any of this. It amazes me that people think that he's somehow something different. He's not. He's not. He's the next president. The reason I believe they have Trump in there right now is because they're going to destroy the dollar, and Trump is going to help orchestrate it or whatever. The guy's been a billionaire not once, but twice, and he was helped out by people like the guy you're looking at right now in other interests from Israel. When you lose $1 billion and you're able to get $1 billion or more again with the help from people from that have ties or they have their loyalty to the state of Israel, guess who you're going to owe favors to? Do you see what I'm saying? There's nothing new under the sun here. These guys have been trying to do this forever. And now they're doing it and making laws and looking to take away people's weapons and etc. I don't really care that they're trying to take away people's guns, to be honest. I mean, I know someone's going to take that and make a video out of it. But here's the deal. I've already shown you the technologies. A lot of people have shown you the technologies. They could stop you from picking up your weapon and pointing and firing it. So telling you they're taking away the guns, it's busy work. It's just more busy work. That's it. They've got technology that can stop your central nervous system from working. How do I know that? Look up what a targeted individual is. Do you see what I'm saying? Because it's a real thing. It's a totally real thing. Ask me, ask Nicholson. It's a real thing. I didn't even realize I was using his cup. It's amazing to me that I can remember where I was and exactly what I was doing when I found out that they found Kurt Cobain from Nirvana dead. I was in Boxford, Massachusetts. I was hanging up 3/4-inch gas pipe hangers, and I was running a new gas line in a new house. And I remember it coming on the radio that Kurt Cobain was found dead, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. But somebody like George Herbert Walker Bush, who's a professional Central Intelligence guy, a professional politician, it's been in his family forever. His grandfather was caught helping Hitler and making money off it, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't know where he was when JFK got killed. JFK, I think, I mean, who knows? It could just be another distraction because we have no idea. History is a complete and total lie. Like Crow 777 says, agreed upon by rich people. He doesn't remember where he was. Well, some forensic, like literal forensics guys found him standing right there in Dealey Plaza. I think blowing Kennedy's head off at the top of a pyramid in Dealey Plaza in front of everybody and then giving this ridiculous story how about it was a magic bullet when it was like 10 different shooters at one time or 7. Look up a video called Everything is a Rich Man's Trick and then use discernment and watch it or don't. But these guys have been at this for a long, long time. 9/11, there's not going to be any court proceedings. It's not going to be, they're just going to keep the wheel spinning, everybody looking in the wrong direction while these guys do exactly what this guy said. They're going to bring in a new world order. It's actually in place right now, and they're just slowly turning the screws. But it appears to me, asshole, laptop, it appears to me that the screws are being turned faster. Do you see what I'm saying? It's getting really, really, really bad. If you're going to talk shit in the comments that I am looking at right now, at least spell RFB correctly. It's only 3 letters. It's pretty straightforward. You see what I'm saying? Talking shit, calling me RFP, that doesn't actually make sense. So let's highlight this for Lewis. He's a realist. He's a realist. There you go. Vote for Trump. Vote for Trump. At any rate, people like Wolfowitz have been in office in the background, whether people knew it or not, forever. These guys planned and plotted this entire 9/11 thing going back a long way. Long story short, people like Kevin Ryan lost his job to come forward and explain that all of this was complete and total bullshit. You know what I'm saying? The fires in these buildings. I've listened to some of the old reports all over again, like lots of you guys probably have. Listening to the reporters like, wow, the fires were thousands of degrees. Well, here's a thought. If, a large if any of this were real, when that airplane hit the side of the building, the airplane would have just damaged the building, broke some glass. The airplane would have slid down the side, but it would have exploded. And when it explodes, all the gas explodes. Their story is the plane punctured the building somehow and filled it with gas, going straight downstairs and then exploding and coming back, blah, blah, blah. Has anybody ever built a commercial building like I have? I'm sure lots of you have worked in Boston, California, New York City, working on commercial structures. Nothing burns in there. Nothing burns. The carpets don't burn. The desks don't burn. Nothing burns. The Twin Towers was an enormous, giant block of steel wrapped in asbestos for all intents and purposes. Do you see what I'm saying? It was an enormous insurance job. It was an enormous reason to go to war for what we're still doing right now. They stole all the gold that was underneath the building. I mean, it's just absolutely redonkulous. But again, Kevin Ryan had the balls to lose his job at Underwriter Labs to come forth, and he's still talking about it to this day. If you don't know who he is, I'll leave links pinned in the comment section. I kind of hope I got my point across here. Maybe I didn't. I don't know, man. I just hit the button and go. So there's that. At any rate, 10 o'clock in the morning, 800 people watching. That's pretty badass. That's pretty badass. But it's all going to be gone soon. That's great. Look at this. I'm looking at the comments right now. John Boy says, hit the like button. And Google has censored him because that might be something that's upsetting to people. Let me see what else. They rape and torture infants and children's. Yep. They're all douchebags. Douche actually has an E at the end of it, I've discovered recently. There's another message. It's unbelievable. So you can have your own personal moderators. I'm on a private streaming setup right now that I pay for, and Google still is censoring me. It's amazing. It's totally amazing. But here it is. You see that sign behind me? 1984 has arrived. Indeed. I took a very, very good quote. In the time of universal deceit, telling the truth becomes a revolutionary act. I put 1984 has arrived and then put my name on it. See that? It's plagiarism. Or is that what it is? Plagiarism? Yeah, plagiarism. Whatever. Whatever. Okay, here's one real quick. For all the vaping people out there that are, Richie, I'm worried about. Listen, I'm old. Doing what I'm doing, anyone that's doing what I'm doing, they're already censoring us. They're already erasing us. They're already making there's 500,000 of us. There's 500,000 people that follow this channel, and Google has basically said, we don't care. We're not even going to tell you if this dude makes a video. We're going to do the wrong view counts. We're going to censor him. We're going to demonetize him. We're going to do everything we possibly can to make this dude shut up. Well, when that doesn't work, what do they do to everything? What do they do to everybody except 𝗦𝗲𝗍𝗶? Something bad happens. You know what I mean? I don't smoke weed. I see no advantage to that. I'm good. Thank you, though. If smoking weed helps you deal with, anxiety or eating disorders or having cancer, then do your thing, man. But for recreation, I work on my truck. I take pictures. I videotape things. I'm the asshole that's got a camera pointing straight up all the time. So there's that. Long story short, I'm not going to quit vaping. It's the only vice I have left. And the vaping that they're talking about in the news is not what I'm doing. They're talking about the little Juul devices that you can take a THC cartridge and insert it into this thing and you can vape THC. But apparently what's happening is people are bootlegging these things and selling them to children, and it's not THC, it's whatever, and kids are getting sick from it. So there's that. You know what I'm saying? Totally different. This doesn't even have any nicotine. It took me a long time to go from 2 packs a day to get my lovely singing voice all the way down to where I'm just vaping food grade polypropylene, which is what I am. It's delicious. So there's that. You follow? Look up Smedley Butler, find the information and save it. Look up Kevin Ryan, find the information and save it. What are we saving it for? Well, I'll tell you. Probably the same reason that these guys did this. I'm spelling hieroglyphics really wrong. It's too early, man. Stand by. Check this out. You see this? These guys carved all this crazy language into stone. And they tell us it was thousands or millions or bazillions or, whatever number, because who cares? Americans don't care. They carved all these messages into stone, and all we have, all we have is people telling us what it says. When you look at hieroglyphics, it seems like that might have been an important message because they were communicating in like 3D. They were using pictographs and symbols and blah, 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 way above and beyond our pay grade, stuff that we don't do. But they carved it in stone because no matter what happens, stone remains. We got science, we've got politicians, we've got colleges, professors trying to tell us that we used to be mud. We held our breath, and then we slowly turned into little squiggly things, and then we turned into fish and birds and bees and everything else, and then finally humans. Completely and totally bullshit. Complete and total bullshit. You see what I'm saying? Because creation makes a hell of a lot more sense because evolution makes zero sense. Do you see what I'm saying? Totally zero sense. Joel Miller, did I just put that up there? You spelled Smedley wrong. Smedley Butler was the most decorated Marine in history, and you actually have the Marine thing as your, that is badass. And I don't even recall putting that up. Literally. I thought I just put K Small's comment up. Oh, here we go. Why do you push the dinosaur? I know, dude. I've got hundreds of videos on dinosaurs. I can't stop talking about dinosaurs. I love dinosaurs. I ride a dinosaur. You know what I'm saying? Why do I push it? Why do I push it? Here's the deal. I've mentioned a couple of times that I believe dinosaurs were real because I've met people out west that while working on their own personal property have pulled up enormous bones. These weren't in a museum. These weren't for some authorities. These were from dudes that had property while tilling it or digging or blasting. They came across bones. To me, if dinosaurs were real and not just bones of the giants that were on this earth and will be again, I'm pretty sure they just took dinosaurs and lizards. I'm pretty sure that messing with DNA, they turned things like alligators and lizards and birds into giant, horrible things that had to get killed and washed off this earth. So saying, why do you push the dinosaur hoax? That's not an accurate statement whatsoever at all. But stay with it. At least you got highlighted. There's that. You know what I'm saying? I can't prove it, and neither can you. There were giant things on this earth, much like this hieroglyphic might suggest. Do you know what I'm saying? And there is a lot of evidence there were giants on this planet because there's bones everywhere, which is why the same wealthy guys that tried to take over the United States back in the day, that have taken over the United States now, there's a reason that they started the Smithsonian. Because if you're going to push the evolution hoax, which makes everybody think there is no God, do as thou wilt, anybody that pulls up bones of giants or, 10 dead giants at a whack, the Smithsonian sweeps in and takes it all away. That's exactly what they do. These guys got all bases covered, man. It's crazy. Leviathan. Behold, Leviathan. Tail like an oak tree. At any rate. All right, I'm looking at, yep, they played with genetics. I agree. Were dinosaurs real? I can't tell you. Were giants real? Absolutely. Did giants take things and mess with their DNA and make dinosaurs? Maybe. But saying that dinosaurs weren't real whatsoever at all, that's a tough one, man. It's a tough one. So there's that. At any rate, how long have I been yammering here? Damn, I can talk, man. It's amazing too. For those guys, for the people that have met me in real life, I'm not a big talker. So there's that. I guess if you take anything away from this impromptu, true. Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. But I know that there were giants. Are these people digging up bones and teeth? All right. Here's the other thing. Here's the other thing. Out in the desert, I've come across, and you can too, dinosaur tracks in the stones. These are three-toed, enormous tracks. And if you use any type of logic while you're looking at them, you can see that something has got a stride of about 15 feet. That's a big thing. Down in Texas, that creek bed where there's dinosaur tracks intermingled with human tracks at the same time, and then magically all of a sudden all that needs to be destroyed and ripped up. Yeah. So it's either there were dinosaurs or there were horrific monster things with giant three toes, because I've seen them and I've actually got pictures of them. So there's that. I try to make decisions based on stuff that I can actually prove to myself. I didn't come around to the flat earth because people were making really well edited videos and such on it. I came up with the flat earth because after staring at the ocean that I live across the street from, after going to the top of the mountains, after taking videos, after getting a P900, a P1000, blah, 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 after talking to people that have actually flown in planes at 72,000 feet, I figured it out. It took me a long time to come out with that, but I proved it to myself. Dinosaurs being real or not, I've seen tracks on the ground. Were those tracks of, centaurs or Sagittarius looking half donkey, half dude things? Maybe. So it's tough to tell. And as I'm talking, I'm getting congested again. It's a strange thing. Yeah, C Bear says, funny how carbon dating only works on objects with unknown age because it doesn't work when we know the age. That's a true thing. Graham Hancock, the guy that does the pyramids and all that other stuff, I kind of strayed away from him. I listened to everything he ever put out when I first woke up until he started talking about ayahuasca and friendly snakes and, demonic. I walked. He did a great one where they did carbon dating on a dead mammoth, a dead baby mammoth. They carbon dated the tusk. They carbon dated the nose thing, the elephant nose thing, its leg and its hindquarters. They came up with 4 different dates from one dead animal, and the age variation was millions of years. So its trunk, the nose thing, its trunk was 50,000 years old. Its rear leg was 3 million years old. You see what I'm saying? Carbon dating is just more smoke and mirrors from the magicians. It's all bullshit. Believe it or don't. Okay, congestion yeah, I'm not doing chakras, dude. We don't do that. So, yeah, leaving stupid comments like that. Yeah. Really? Are we 5? I mentioned that I'm congested, and then the children come out. I don't enjoy that. Admiral Byrd did indeed say he saw mammoths when he went over that warm paradise area in Antarctica. I've run that story. I've gone with that story, but here's the one thing. These guys play the long game. George Herbert Walker Bush, Prescott Bush, the entire family. If my grandfather was down with, hey, Hitler's going to take over the world and kill millions of people, but you know what? We can make some money from this. This will be great. If I came from that kind of a fucked up bloodline, which I don't, when I was George Herbert Walker Bush, I'd say, hey, let's kill Kennedy. And then, let's flood the United States with drugs. Because if you look behind everything that's affected this country, it's all Central Intelligence Agency. These guys play the long game. So from Herbert Walker Bush, Prescott Bush, these guys waited, 100 years to get all this damage to the United States done. Admiral Byrd, I don't know if he was a Smedley Butler, because Smedley Butler, the guy went on the radio till the day he died, talking just like I am right now, except better and from a highly decorated Marine's point of view. He understood what was going on, and he wouldn't stop talking about it. So he went from a guy that won the Medal of Valor to a guy in his last few days, they were talking shit about him. Admiral Byrd, I don't know if that story's real, man. It's hard. It's incredibly hard to tell. But when I look at them completely making the water in the United States and the world radioactive and unfit for human consumption. When I watch them filling the skies with heavy metals, when I watch them completely perverting farms and the soil all across the United States and making everything genetically modified, it's either these are the stupidest rich people that have been running the world forever, ever, or they have a place like Antarctica that we're not allowed to go to. And it does kind of make sense, because it's amazing that we're always at war with all these people, unless, of course, we all signed the Antarctic Treaty where nobody goes to the Antarctic ever again whatsoever at all. You know what I'm saying? But it's hard to know this, because being an admiral means you're somebody that's moved up through the ranks and you follow orders. Smedley Butler, when he moved up through the ranks, we're talking the late 1800s, the very early 1900s, man. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm showing historical fact. That's why I try not to watch the content. Alan Buchanan says, RFB is pushing BS. Yeah, all this historical fact. What a bunch of BS it is, Alan. Nice little picture there too, pal. Look at, let's here we go. There you go. Look at Alan. Angry Alan. What's making you mad, Alan, that I'm pushing historical facts that I'm showing you right now, or the fact that you lost your hair? Let's be honest, because I've noticed a lot of guys my age are very upset that I still have hair. I'm losing my teeth, so take some solace in that. How's that? You see what I mean? At any rate, Smedley Butler came out. These guys they approached him to take over the country, to take it away from the president. He said no. He went and told the president. The president said, that's a horrible thing, but that's it. Nobody got in trouble. Now, Admiral Byrd, that entire story could have been something that they said, listen, we need you to tell people that you went to, Operation High Jump, you went to the Antarctica. There were UFOs. Let's get that seed planted way back then. And there's a tropical paradise known as the Antarctic that no one's allowed to go to. I don't know. It makes sense, but remember the source. It's coming from the military. Do you know what I'm saying? So there's that. At any rate, and vaping, I don't care. I really don't care. If I live another 6 months, I'll be happy. If not, whatever. It is what it is. I don't plan on becoming really old. So there is that. Oh, yeah. If you didn't, I'm making a lot of assumptions. I assume that some of my subscribers are some of the most awake and smart people on the internet. Well, Richie, you said the moon came out of the portal. Yep. And I said that, and then discovered there was ancient writings that actually backed that up as well. And then I found out that there was scientists back in the 60s that backed that up as well, where they said the moon is actually made of a plasma. 6 months after that story started gaining traction, suddenly we went to the moon. Hey, we're going to the moon. Well, how long is it going to take? Well, shit. I just said it. Let's say 9 months from now, we somehow build some sort of a contraption that gets us up to the moon, lets us land there, come back safely over and over and over and over again, which is exactly what they did. But prior to that, there was a bunch of scientists that came out and said the moon appears to be a plasma. And then after the moon landing, all of that talk went away. Do you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? I say that a lot. That's how I talk, dude. I don't know what to tell you. I wouldn't debate Alex Jones. That'd be like debating the insane clown posse. It makes no sense. Alex Jones is a plant. He was placed here a long time ago. He made millions of dollars directing people that will look for the truth slightly down the wrong path. According to Alex Jones, Donald Trump was one of us. I don't understand how some guy with orange hair who's a billionaire is somehow related to me or you or anybody. I don't know how you can come up with the conclusion that China cons run the Federal Reserve. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The Muslim Brotherhood runs the Federal Reserve, according to Alex Jones, and the China cons run Hollywood. You see, that's really bad information, and it's really easy to debunk. And yet that's exactly what he told people, and lots of them believed. And he made millions. And Joe Rogan spilled the beans because I was banned from YouTube. I'm gone. They erased me from the internet. Blah, blah, blah. The globalist. Well, the problem is Joe Rogan straight. I mean, I still have the video clip. Alex, you were thinking about pulling off of social media anyway. Well, yeah, I don't want to die at 45 of a heart attack. If Alex Jones is 45, then I'm 160. You see what I'm saying? All of it is complete and total, absolute bullshit. Mr. Mensa put this quote in the comments. This is from our own CIA director in 1981. We'll know our disinformation program is complete when everything the American public believes is false. William Casey, 1981, CIA director. Who else was a CIA director? People that aren't necessarily really they're not really cool about Americans. Who else? Oh, this guy, George Herbert Walker Bush, whose son was sitting in a classroom reading My Pet Goat upside down while children chanted, "Plane must hit steel." Yeah. It's crazy, right? At any rate. 𝗦𝗵𝗿𝗶𝗱, G reporter, artist. I just lost you, dude. 𝗦𝗵𝗵𝗿𝗍, Psalm 91, baby, the Devil's Playground channel. John McInnes, Philip Cassavant, Zavs Paul, 𝗦𝗵𝗿𝗍𝗱, artist known as Lisa, KD Unity, Charles Kelly. Rogan did indeed switch up. I used to listen to Rogan all the time when he had Neil deGrasse Tyson on talking about chemtrails ain't real. I have no idea. Yeah, but a lot of people are calling Trump the chosen one too. It makes no sense. Ray De La Vega said, I served in the Navy, crossed the equator, never saw a curve. It's not just you, brother. It's amazing how many people have found me. I guess when you're special forces, finding me is pretty easy. And they've told me that, I mean, out of all I met a guy and he said, dude, your channel really woke me up. I'm still in the military, which he is. I've jumped from 70,000 feet and it's flat. Out of all the things he was ever going to say, I didn't think flat earth was going to be a topic. So I listened to Rogan forever and Neil deGrasse Tyson forever until both of them got on the same show and said chemtrailing isn't real. Well, the bad thing about that is since they've said that, chemtrailing is now just, it's news. It's geoengineering, blocking the sun, saving everybody from global warming. So there's that. All right, guys. Richie from Boston. Like, share, subscribe, or don't. And I am out.